But can we admit most men can't ever get access to the beautiful woman, but the unattractive woman can get access to the handsome man?
I can admit that.
I would also like for you to admit that a man would learn a whole lot more quickly than a woman would to get rid of a cantankerous fine woman over a decent woman that'll treat him right. And if
I
I
don't
will
know.
say this,
What?
and if you do see a man with a cantankerous bad chick, the only time you see that he'll stick around is if he's stuck with her because he married to her.
But a lot of men are just stuck because they're loyal. Some men are just overly loyal. And so they stay there and they unhappy as
We
hell.
loyal. That's love. We'll
Did
be
he?
loyal, unhappy. We'll be no, then we'll be get shamed for breaking our families. Y'all don't
I
support men who
understand
leave.
that. It's
We don't support men who leave bad women. We'll shame the man for leaving and breaking up the family. Where we'll support the woman who creates a broken home, but we say it's for self-love and happiness. We don't treat men like that.
but well, I see it another way because I have like I grew up with guys, nothing but guys. Like I had a brother, he had a bunch of friends, and there were no girls in the neighborhood. And my best friend is a guy. So like I know I encouraged my best friend to leave his baby mama because she was terrible. And he ended up understanding what I was saying because he ended up getting custody of the children because it's a long story. But point is, he was going to stay because he didn't want another man around his children. He didn't want to break up their family, but it was just in his best interest. And I encouraged it, and they were all better for it. They were better with her out of the picture. So I understand there are a lot of women that will do that, cheer one side on while, denigrating the other side. But I don't do that because I see both sides because I have guy friends that have been through relationships.
But do
I got
you see the talking point of when men say men will pick their women and family over their feelings, where women will pick themselves and family over will pick themselves and their feelings over their family? Because all she
Um,
had to do is change how she's behaving. She keeps her family, but he wants to see his kids 100% of the time instead of 50% of the time. So he picks his family over the way he feels with being with that
I
woman.
understand it. Yeah.
Hey, Bo, I got a quick question for you.
What?
Would you have told that story had you given him that advice and he lost his kids?
Uh, no. I
That's a
guess I
lot of
wouldn't.
men's. That's a lot of men's situation. They
Right.
they
Well, no,
get they.
he did. No, she had the kids before, and he was on child support.
No, I'm saying like
But
if you look like right now, he wasn't seeing his kids. Like she'd have took off
yeah,
on him. She won the
right, right.
kids. Did some like because that's what happens with a lot of men. Like even through encouragement, like a woman, like our home, like people tell us to leave all the time. You know what I mean? Hey, bro, you need to. Hey, that chick, something wrong with it, bro. But we already like our fear of losing our children and losing access to them. And then because I know a lot of women, a lot of people like to say, "Oh, well, how can men be afraid of losing resources when they ain't got none?" It don't have to be resources. It could just be the kids.
I
Damn, I got
understand.
to live apart from my kid, and like that fear would cause us to stick around a whole lot longer. And then that's why I was just wondering, like, had that man lost access to his kids, would you have told that story?
But
I'm glad you was honest enough to say
right.
no, because it'll be like,
Yeah.
damn, yeah, I convinced my homeboy to leave, and he ain't seen his kids in 6 years.
Of course, Bo, you see it a different way. Of course, you see it a different way. Just like how you see reality the way you see it versus everybody else. I mean, we've all been on the panel. We know how Bo is. But I mean, let's just keep it a being. We already know women who decides to be their child, or who decides to put their child up for adoption. What do other women say? Other women will encourage that. Other women will say, I know it must have been hard for you. Because the second you hold her accountable and say, dang, you shouldn't have had a child, this, that, and the third, what would they tell you? You shouldn't be victim blaming. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't make her feel this way. But let a man tell you that he doesn't even want to be a child to that, he doesn't want to be a father to that child. And let's just say he accidentally busts. What are women going to say? Women are going to sit here and talk to this woman and say, hey, ma'am, you might want to reconsider. right? No, they're going to say, well, it's her body, her choice. She's going to be able to be, she's going to be the one to pick. But it's like, y'all don't ever try to give her any logical reasons as to why she should have a child with a man who's telling you he doesn't even want to be in a relationship, doesn't even want to be around. The man is going to get condemned every single time. Just like how your man and your woman can both go into a bar, they both drink, they both order the same amount of drinks, he buys the drinks, all of this, right? Just for her to then wake up the next morning and guess what? Only the man gets in trouble. Just like how a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, 16-year-old can get a fake ID, go into the club, have fun, right? Even though they're the ones that's in the wrong, but the man went to the club, he's in the right, he's doing everything right. They both do the do. Next thing you know, who is the one that's getting arrested? The man. And guess what happens to the woman? Nothing. They get to go off scot-free and go mess up somebody else's life. Even when you're talking about outside of pregnancy, women are always able to get off scot-free, but yet want to say we're equal. Cut it out. And then the funny thing about Bo is that she says, well, you know, one side is going to cheer on the downfall, and you know, while they cheer on the other side. And it's like, ma'am, hold on. You're literally describing yourself. You're literally describing you. You're literally describing a pretty intellectual. Y'all women are one-sided, period. But it's just so funny, once again, that this is how women try to play the game. Women will try to play the game this way. And this is like, bro, you're not going to be able to fool nobody by doing that. We've all watched Lapeef Network. We've all seen the clips with her in it where she is one-sided, where people are just like, bro, Bo, you don't make any sense. You're so biased, man, that it's just, it kind of takes away from the video. But I mean, once again, you know, she's saying that she's admitting to certain things. But once again, this is a woman who likes to placate, all right? All she does is like to placate. She wants to tailor her answer to the question, right? For whatever reason, I don't know why she's doing it now. I don't know why she wants to admit. I don't know why she wants to tailor her answers to the question, which she should have been doing for the longest, if that was a damn case, right? But I mean, it's just like, man, we know, man, what you're saying is not genuine. We already know that you're going to come back onto the platform or to another live, and you're going to go right back to the same BS. Probably the reason she ain't on that BS is because Pretty ain't there. I'm pretty sure Pretty was there, she'll be on that BS. But this is why we compare women to children, because your children are going to be the ones to move the goalposts. Your children are always going to tailor their answers to the questions because they want to say the right thing, right? Instead of saying what's on their mind and what they think is right now, of course, it comes to a point where, okay, yeah, you can keep saying what you think is right, but if it's already been proven wrong, then now we got a problem here. And that's the issue with Bo, where it's just like, hey man, look, you have your mind, have your mindset, but if we're telling you this is wrong, we're telling you how men think, and you're turning back and telling us, well, no, this is how men should think. It's like, man, you're not listening to nobody. You're not trying to take advice from anybody. But like I said, I mean, just going back to what I was saying earlier, the fact that she said that, well, I see things differently, right? I see things differently, but yet you just sat here and said you admitted to pretty much the same shit we've been talking about throughout the whole video. So which one is it? Do you see it differently, or do you disagree with it, or do you agree with it? Do you admit, like, what are we doing? But as I stated before, this is why we compare them to little girls, because women who do stuff like this tend to have the same mindset and tend to do the same thing a 6-year-old little girl would do. Let's continue.
Yeah, and I would have felt bad. So yeah.
You want to go ahead and go, Pearl? We're closing out shortly.
So obviously a lot was said. My take on it is, I like that Bo mentioned learning. We've learned these standards of materialism. We've learned how not to support. I mean, even if it's through like a lack of education, you either learned or you didn't learn these things. But again, I like how she mentioned learning. Some of us need to learn these things, and we're not on the same learning path. Some of us are going to learn things faster than others. I don't think that should be the basis of our conversations. We all want relationships. We speak about these a lot. We give great advice. Sometimes we may clash, but I think at the basis of it, you have to know who you are. You have to know what you want. We spoke about standards. We spoke about like commitments and sticking it out. It depends on you though, like what you're taught. That's why I love that Bo said learning. What have you learned? And is that conducive to you even having what you want? sometimes you learn when you get more resources how to settle yourself and not be egotistical and not just go out there and do a bunch of reckless things, but it's all learning. We don't wake up at 21 and just know everything just because somebody told us we was numerically advanced and we're adults now. You have to grow into these things. So I think we all just need to give each other some grace. I think a lot of blanket statements are always made about men and women. It's always subjective based on you as an individual, what you want, what you don't want, what you're willing to work for and not. I do know that when we're on these platforms, we're on other spaces and we see media and digital platforms and other representations, it teaches us certain things like what to look for, what not to, what's appealing, what's not. But we're grown. Again, that's a part of learning. You know that that's superficial. You know that that's surface level. It's not going to get you anywhere. So if I would take anything from all of this conversation, is not to get wrapped up in materialism, not to get wrapped up in surface level beauty, but to really figure out who those persons are and develop a deeper and a stronger vetting process and not waste so much of your time. Because again, if you were vetting and you wasn't just going in off the surface level, I think you would learn these things like the men say they learn much quicker. We as a society, as people, we would learn these things much quicker if we were willing to have the brave conversations that we don't have, if we were willing to ask the brave questions that we don't ask. So like I said, if you want a relationship, you got to work for it. It's always going to be materialism. Always going to be other people and opportunities for you as a person.
I disagree with that. Men learn much quicker. I heard that said twice tonight, but
I was just throwing it in there because that's what they said.
So,
but
yeah,
no, I don't believe that because
correction.
men continuously remarry. Like pretty much 2/3 of men who have a failed marriage go ahead and do it again, despite the rate being just as high, like about 2/3, and then you'll even do it a third time, despite the rate of it being like almost 75%. So that doesn't really scream learning to me. That seems like insanity to me.
It was subjective to me, Trail. Thank you.
And continuously seeking women who aren't suitable and not understanding how to vet, or for whatever reason, it's not working.
I don't know if it's like the finding not suitable part. As far as when a man is willing to remarry, it's usually because he's taken a hard lesson and a look at himself through his other marriage and was able to find out the mistakes he was making on why it didn't work. He's able to actually get feedback, maybe grow from it, and think to himself, well, I know what not to do. Now I know how to be a better husband to somebody else. And that would be the second marriage. The second marriage fails, it would be the same kind of analysis again. But a third time, I don't know about a third time. I would think that by the third time, you're probably in your latter 50s, 60s, meaning you're both very elderly. You found each other. You're done. You're at the end of your life anyway. You're finding someone.
It doesn't
You know what I mean?
usually happen like that. They do it within like 3 years of their prior marriage, and to me it doesn't seem like they're learning. I can't see how that would be learning if you're just going to fail again.
Well, it was based off of my statement. I wanted to make a correction. When I say that men learn sooner, what I mean by that is that we learn sooner, because I believe that both sexes learn at the same time that XYZ will treat you wrong. Like, for example, women will learn at the same time that men will learn that a beautiful woman is a headache. And a woman will learn at that exact same time that a man with money is an asshole, so to speak, right? We're just speaking in general. I believe we both learn those things at the same time. What I meant that men learn sooner is that we can't have it all. We learn to make concessions far quicker than women do. It takes women a lot longer to realize, hey, look, life is about choices and trade-offs. We learn that fairly quickly that we can't have it all. So we would say, all right, I'll sacrifice looks for love, whereas women would stack on top of their standards. So yeah, they may not have gotten love with the money. They may not have gotten love from the guy with money, but they're not going to sacrifice the money immediately or early on after learning that the guy with money wasn't shit. They're going to be like, all right, well, the guy with the money didn't work out, but I'm not giving up the money or giving up that guy with money. I'm just going to stack on top of it and say, well, now I want a guy with money that treats me right. Whereas we'll say, hey, look, I sacrifice a beautiful woman for a woman that's gonna treat me right. I know that the
I think
beautiful woman don't come with that. If we
think the main
learn very
problem-
quickly that life is about choices and trade-offs.
Pearl, what you are saying, it sounds good, but I hate when women know that this is a woman's issue, right? They will understand a problem is a woman's issue, but yet they will sit here and say, well, I think we all have a problem. I think we all need to fix this. I think we all, just like how she says, I think we're materialistic. Well, here's the thing. Most of your men are not initiating divorce. 70 to 80% of your men are not initiating divorce. And one of the biggest reasons is being financial reasons. Your men are not sitting over here destroying their families because, she's been in a rough patch of finances these past couple of months. So, hey, I'm up and leave. It's only women who are doing that. It's only women who are sitting here making videos of thinking that they're too good for Ruth Chris. It's only women who are making videos saying that, hey, listen, a coffee date really isn't much of anything, right? You need to take me to a fancy restaurant on the first, second, or third date. It's only women who are saying that. That's materialistic. It's only women who are making it a prerequisite that in order for you to stay with a woman, you have to constantly keep taking them out on vacations, right? It's only women who are hypergamous, not men, right? But yet we're going to try to sit here and say, well, they're both materialistic. Hey, well, men are materialistic. Men are not materialistic. I mean, what makes a man happy? Sex, silence, and a sandwich. That does not cost anything. Maybe the sandwich, but I mean, like, bro, you can literally whip up a regular sandwich. Y'all, we already know some of them struggle meals. I mean, come on now, right? Now, of course, y'all wouldn't want my wife to be making me no struggle meal, maybe like once out of the week or something like that if she's tired of cook, right? But it's just like, come on, bro. Like, come on, man. I mean, you literally have these same women jumping on the internet saying that a 9-to-5 man does not cut it, right? And one of the sisters who said it ended up getting checked by one of the women, right? And I don't think it wasn't for that reason, but right? But she ended up getting checked, which I think a lot of your sisters should get that treatment she got, right? Should get that treatment she got, but end up getting whopped up or whatnot, and the whole tune changed. Once again, plenty of families are destroyed because women felt, oh, well, I think I could do a little bit better. Oh, well, he ain't making enough money for me. Oh, well, he ain't home enough. Oh, well, he's always at work too much. Oh, well. And it's like, you never really, you ain't even going to, I'm not even going to say you never really, you don't hear men say that or go through that stuff because once again, we just understand how life is and we just deal with the cards that we're dealt with. A great example, right? And I'm about to use one of my personal stories. Right? You have my father who is, because your women swear up and down that they're equal to men and that the household that the man bought, that the man paid for and everything, that, hey, it's my house too. I got the same amount of power as you do. Okay, great. Right. So you understand that bills need to be paid then. My dad is giving my mother the money to go ahead and go pay rent. Right. What is she doing with the money, right? And this is what I don't even think I was thought of at the time, but what is she doing? She going out here, she buying other stuff instead of paying for the rent. So guess what happens, right? Lights get turned off. You start to go through all of these things, right? And now people questioning, and who is the first person they're going to? They're going to the man. Why aren't the bills paid? Why the house this? Why the house that? Why? All because of a woman. All because she wants to go out and go shopping. All because of what? Materialistic stuff. You're in a hole because of materialism. But yet, you're going to have women like Pearl who jumps on here and try to be disingenuous and try to make it a man issue. Try to make it a man and woman issue when this really is just a woman's issue. But your women are not going to try to hold other women accountable. Somebody like Pearl, I mean, sometimes I feel like, man, she's neutral, but it's almost like, man, we already know, but she leans more towards women, right? And it's just sad because I hate when women do that. And shout out to the Black Dragon, because I mean, while I was sitting over here typing up, what I was going to say, I mean, he practically said the exact same thing that I was saying, and for me, right? Going to Trev's point, I think that Trev, being that, yeah, you're gonna have guys who jump into the marriage the second and third time. When you're talking about these guys, I would assume that a lot of these guys are in their 30s and 40s when they're remarrying, right? And I would just have to ask, what is a man doing just still dating at the age of 40 or at the age of 35, 30s, 40s? What are you still doing dating? Of course, you might find a woman, but at what point in time, if y'all already got a connection, y'all already lived with each other for about a year or two, and Trev even said it. It takes about a year or two, it takes about, a year to 3 years before they end up remarrying, right? And it would make sense because it takes about a year for you to actually have a full divorce because you have to separate for a whole year, right? So, I mean, when you're talking about you're getting older, you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, what would be the reason that, like I said, to just sit here and date? Of course, these guys are going to want to go ahead and move in fast. So if they find a woman, man, that, as Sweeney said, man, listen, they're going to go into a new relationship. They're going to understand what is to be expected. They're going to understand what needs to be changed. I think it's just the culture of the women that we have today that we're just going to run into a lot of trash women, right? But, to his point, hey, man, there are some guys, man, who jump from marriage to marriage to marriage, and it's either because they're picking trash women or it's themselves, right? And so that's just how I look at it, right? That's just how I look at it, and that's the main reason why I would say your men will jump back to another marriage for the simple fact, I mean, RIP our man's Kevin Samuels, but he divorced multiple times. I'm pretty sure he did not want to just run through women at one point. I'm pretty sure, being that he was older, getting older, hey man, listen, it's better for us, it's better for me to find a partner than be in my 40s, 50s, 60s, constantly running through chicks. Now, that's what men want to do, then that's what men want to do. I'm pretty sure I got plenty of guys who are in my comments who live that type of lifestyle, right? And I'm not knocking you for it, but overall, your men who are in the 30s, 40s, 50s are going to want to settle down. So, of course, they're going to want to go ahead and remarry, right? In my opinion. But, I mean, hey, man, listen, look, I love the discussion. I love the discussion, man. Do me a huge favor, leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. Till the next one.